Hello my loves and welcome to a new vlog. Magical Readathon has ended and May the Force Read With You has begun. I am very excited about this readathon. I've said before that this is probably my favorite readathon every year, and I love the whole D&D character build. I'm an RPG player too. So building characters is a favorite pastime of mine. I really enjoy things like this. I have some books that I might be swapping out for this readathon because I recently got Enchantra, First Time Caller, and the Ashfire King. Those three I really want to get onto the readathon, and possibly Blood on Her Tongue. I'm not sure. But those I've been looking forward to for quite some time. And I still need to record my TBR for my horror bingo because I have not done that yet. I recorded one video the other day and lost all my spoons. I put all of my spoons into putting makeup on, doing the get ready with me and like part of my vlog. But I might be doing some swapping with the prompts. However, I have already completed one book, and that is because it was so easy to listen to because I did the audiobook. This one, it has a podcast element, so I definitely wanted the audiobook for it. I got it from Libby, and this was really good. I understand why everyone went ballistic about this book, and it is because there's an amnesia trope. I do have to warn people who don't like amnesia tropes, but I don't like amnesia tropes, and I liked this. But basically, we have a girl who her best friend is murdered, and everyone's convinced that she did it, but she doesn't remember what happened. She knows that she was covered in blood, that she was holding what could have been the murder weapon, all of that, and her family doesn't believe that she was innocent. Her husband at the time didn't believe that she was innocent. So nobody else wanted to rally behind her either, because if the people closest to her thought that she did it, then maybe she did it. And so she convinces herself that she probably did it. Since she can't actually recall what happened that night, she just kind of lives her life under the assumption that maybe she did. Even though this was her best friend, they were closer than siblings, and it makes no sense why she would have. And then a podcast becomes interested in this story and decides to tackle her story, the murder, all of that stuff. But they want her side of the story, and she's like, I don't remember, so I don't know what you want from me. But she decides that she's going to go home to celebrate her grandmother's birthday. The podcaster in question is there, probably set up by her grandmother. That's true. And that means she has to go back to her hometown where everybody hates her and is convinced that she's a murderer. But this was really good. The podcast elements were really good on audio. I highly recommend the audiobook. I see why everyone says that as well. And I'm going to give this book 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. Now, I want to admit that I rarely give thrillers and mysteries 5 stars. And the reason for that is one of the things I look for whenever I get into a book is writing style. And the writing style of mystery thrillers doesn't always work for me. I enjoy the books, I enjoy the stories, but the writing is not anything that I find to be eloquent or literary. And so I tend to, 4 stars is about the highest I give any mystery thriller, except for Simone St. James. I have given 2 of hers 5 stars. So I just kind of want to preface that even though this is a 4-star, I really, really enjoyed it. Probably one of the better mystery thrillers that I have read. I guess that's the point I was trying to make. So that does earn me my species and 1 point in this readathon. So I'm very, very excited for that. My next book that I'm going to be tackling is The Unsinkable Greta James. This will earn me a porg. Porgs are pretty much my favorite creatures in the Star Wars universe. They bring a very hilarious element to the sequel series. I always hate trying to differentiate which series I'm talking about within the Star Wars world, but the Rey and Kylo, that series. So I am very excited for this. This is one of the books that when I read The Wedding People, I went on a hunt for books like The Wedding People, and this one came up quite a bit. This again is about a woman who is fairly famous, but she loses her mother and kind of goes on a downward spiral after the fact. And they had planned a family trip, And so her and her father decide to go ahead and go on this cruise. So they're trying to have fun and grieve at the same time. And so I think that I will really enjoy this. To earn Porg, I had to have a C as part of the story. And since this is a cruise, that's how that's playing in. Also, my Discord, my Patreon, has decided that they are going to join me in reading Happy Place. So this is the book that I'm going to stick with. I had mentioned that I didn't know if I was going to read Happy Place or Beach Read, but they kind of made that decision for me. And this is going to be the Patreon read for this month. We didn't end up reading Dollmakers last month. Let me tell you, I'm bad at buddy reads, but so is my Patreon. I would like to get that to be something that we participate in every month, but I understand why it doesn't happen. Also, I am knocking out my book of the month books here. That's exciting. But yes, I finished that one, 4 stars. Gonna move on to this one. Happy Place probably be right after that because I really want easy reads for this readathon. Not because last month was bad, but I didn't read as much as I had wanted to because the books were so big. I did pick a lot of shorter books for this, so I am hoping that I can tackle quite a bit more for this readathon. But I will let you guys know when I get a little further into this book. Good morning, good morning. I just woke up, so I'm getting me some coffee real quick. All right, guys, I have finished The Unsinkable Greta James. This was really good. Like I said, this is about a girl who has a very public breakdown. She's a rock star. Things start to go south for her. She ends up breaking up with her boyfriend after her mother dies, and she's not there to say goodbye. And her brother convinces her to go on the cruise that was meant to be their anniversary present, the trip that her mom always wanted to go on with her dad. This has so much emotion and heart in it. I really loved it. There's a lot of humor in it. There's some romance in it. And it has somewhat of like a bittersweet ending. And I don't feel like that's too spoilery because I do like to tell people when things are bittersweet because there's a lot of people that really actually hate that. I really, really enjoyed this one. I think I'm going to give it 4 stars. That seems like a very fitting rating here. I don't have a lot to say. And I think that's just because this is a contemporary, which I don't read very often, but I've read this, I've read The Husbands, I've read The Wedding People recently. I've enjoyed all of them. Like, I haven't disliked any of them, but it's not the genre I typically read, so I don't really know how to rate them other than to compare them to The Wedding People because that's where I got all of these books from. But the writing is good, the characters are good, the story is good. I really enjoyed it. And today I will be tackling Happy Place by Emily Henry. This one I don't really know anything about. I just started purchasing Emily Henry books after Funny Story, and with romance I don't really look into them too much, but this says Harriet and Wynne have been the perfect couple since they met in college. They go together like salt and pepper, honey and tea, lobster and rolls. Except now, for reasons they're still not discussing, they don't. They broke up 5 months ago and still haven't told their best friends. And they go on this trip with their friends to this cabin and they pretend that they're still dating. So it's kind of like a fake dating second chance trope all wrapped into one. And I'm kind of interested to see how that's going to play out. I have heard that this is quite emotional. And one of my patrons has already read it. This is the one we're supposed to be buddy reading. And she said that she found it quite boring until it wasn't. And so I don't know what to think about that. But like I said, I know that Emily Henry, everybody tends to land on a favorite and doesn't always like every book. But I bought this and Beach Read because I'd heard great things about both of them. And I'm just kind of going through Emily Henry as a romance author because I've gone through Abby. And I know both Emily Henry and Abby Jimenez have books that have recently released. So I need to read the ones I currently have before I purchase the new ones. So this is what I'll be reading today. I will check in with you guys when I get a little further into it, hopefully before I finish it. Oh, and I did forget one thing. So I was going through my stack, looking at the books that I had picked, and I do have the Wind-Up Girl for one of my prompts. And the one thing that I needed to have was the character's name is the first part of the synopsis. And I might change it out because it's one of them that I don't know that I want to read during a readathon because it's going to take a little bit of brain power, and it's one that I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to like. So I did find a substitute in So Thirsty, which is a book that I've really been wanting to read, another shorty. And it's great to have short books on readathon months because you can go through more books, and I might use this, like I said, to go through some of my shorter books. This is a little bit chunkier, but it's a romance, so I don't think it's going to take me much time to go through. But I've heard great things about this, especially from the people in my Discord, which I have a tendency to trust them. Ed is one of them that really loved it, and I can't remember who else, but I have been dying to read this, so this one might get subbed for the Wind-Up Girl. Now, that is it for this clip. I will see you guys in the next one. I am back sooner than expected because Happy Place isn't going to work for me right now. The audio that I was able to get a hold of was in Italian, and I don't speak Italian. Also, I think I forgot to mention that the unsinkable Greta James is for my Porg, and I will insert a little Porgy pic for you guys to see what that is if you're not a Star Wars fan. Instead of actually gaining a corruption like I planned to, I am going to go for my TIE Fighter and read The Ivory Key. This is a book that I don't know much about. It's one I got from Crate a long time ago and still haven't read. This is on my self-destructing books because I've owned it for so long and haven't picked it up. YA, it's a first edition, Crate, you know, I still have my letter from the author in it and everything like that. I just need to read it and find out. It does have a really cool map. That's interesting, but I don't know much about it. I guess I will check in with you guys whenever I have some type of synopsis to give you, but it has a blurb from Adrienne Young, which you guys know I do like Adrienne Young. I guess this is where we're going. I have no other plans or thoughts. I had some audios on standby. Happy Place was one of them. This is one of the other ones. And so I'm like, I guess this is where we're going. Hello and good morning. So I started The Ivory Key. I got about 50% into it and I'm DNFing it. This is a book that has been on my TBR for a really long time. Like I said, it is a previous Crate book. I haven't had Crate in a year, 2 years, something like that. And I never gravitated towards this. I'm not really sure why, but when I put a book off like that, there's usually something that has triggered in my brain that says I'm not going to like it. I really liked the world building in here. I really liked the magic system in here. However, the characters were falling really flat for me, and the plot was not all that great. And those are two very key elements in a story for me. I can't just read a book that has good world building, good magic system, and not care about the characters or the plot. So I really wasn't enjoying my time with this. And I think this is hurt by the fact that there are 4 main characters that we are following. And so we never got to know any of them in any kind of depth. It kept moving too fast. There's not enough pages here to flesh out a story with 4 characters. I haven't been enjoying it. So unfortunately, I'm DNFing another book. This readathon has been kind of biting me in the butt a little bit, but I am not stressed about it. So that's also very good. I think that is partially because I'm not letting myself get stressed about certain things. Reading should be fun, and that's what I'm sticking with. So for my TIE Fighter, I had to pick a book with T, I, or E as the first letter of the book, first letter of the title. So I'm going with Earthlings. This is going to be my first translated book of this year. I know very little about this other than it's supposed to be a little horror, a little magical realism. And if I remember correctly, it's about an alien coming to Earth. It says, a dark and magical reckoning with what it might take to survive a shattered life. Earthlings is an exhilarating cosmic flight that will leave you reeling. So I'm hoping that I like this. Again, I'm going to tackle a book that has humor, but I've heard the humor in here is kind of dark. So and this is like struggling with what you're told you should be and who you are inside, what you know about yourself, and when that doesn't line up with what everyone else tells you you're supposed to be. So that's kind of the reason that I wanted to pick this up. And I was buying short books for readathons, so I was like, oh, well, that's the reason I bought this book, so I might as well pick it up. And so I'll let you guys know when I get a little further into this what my thoughts are. Hey my loves, I'm back, and this is the point in the readathon where I admit defeat. I knew my streak couldn't last forever, where most of the books I was reading were 4 or 5 stars. In between that, and oh, has it come crashing down? Yeah, it has. So let's start off with my second book that I need to talk about for my TIE Fighter. Earthlings. Now, isn't this the most adorable cover ever? Well, it is hiding a very, very dark story. Very dark, very twisted, very disturbing. Oh my gosh, unhinged woman at the heart of it. And I was not prepared. To say I enjoyed this would be lying. I would be completely lying to you if I said I enjoyed this. However, it was like a train wreck that you just couldn't look away from. It was awful in the best way, I guess, because I gave this 4 stars. I think this is definitely not for everyone, and definitely check trigger warnings before you get into it. But basically, we have a girl who deals with her mental issues, the abuse that she suffered in her life by pretending she's an alien. And she is so convincing that she convinces other people that this is a real thing, that they can join her in their alienness and do horrible things because they're not really human. And so it gets completely unhinged. It's wild. It's crazy. I really liked it. I feel weird saying that I really liked this because there's so many things, and the trigger warnings are extensive for this little short book. Cannibalism being among one of them. Surprise cannibalism. So many things. Sexual assault. So many things happen in this. But I really liked it. Okay, so I have been wanting to go for my corruptions, but for some reason, the books that I have as my corruptions, they're not exactly ones that I'm excited for. Like, there's a couple on there that I'm like, yes, can't wait to get to that. But I had The Library of the Dead as one of my corruptions. Let me consult my list so I know which corruption it was I was going for. Drain knowledge. So it had to be a place of learning, library being the place of learning that we are talking about. And so I really wanted to love this one. Now, is there anything inherently wrong with this book? No. However, this is set in Edinburgh, it's Scottish, and there is a whole lot of Scottish slang. And let me tell you, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. There were some sentences that didn't even make sense to me. I was like, I don't even know what you just said. And that kept pulling me out of the book. Some of it I know from talking to like my British friends. Like I know some of the words like lorry and the word for cigarette, like things like that. I knew some of those, but I was like, you're referencing things I have no idea what they are. I should have tabbed this, but I didn't, to show you what I was talking about. And some of the sentences didn't even make sense. But I'm like,
I don't understand what you're saying. I could be reading this book in Spanish and it would be the same. Like, I just don't get it. And so after about the fifth or sixth time that happened, I was like, I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. And I hate that because I am one of those types of readers who doesn't necessarily like reading in the vernacular. I had to read a lot of stuff written in the vernacular for my degree because we were doing American literature, and I didn't like it whenever we did it then. I don't like it now. And I don't mind the characters speaking in the vernacular. I just don't like books written that way. And I think it's because it pulls me out of the story, because I'm like, I don't know what you just said. I'm supposed to be gleaning something from this, but you're not helping me. Okay. Yeah. And I have had a problem, like I've said in the past, probably in this video. YA hasn't been working for me very much. So I've been wanting to try more YA, but it's just not, it's not it. It's not it. And I'm sorry, because my friend Tessa really loves this book and she wanted me to love it too. And I wanted to love it because she loves it. I am ending the video here with these books because there are 5 books that I tackled this week. And this week has been long for me. I finally got to help a friend do something, and I won't talk about that because that's her business, but it was a long time coming and we're excited, but it's not necessarily a good reason. And so, I spent the last couple days with her, and today I'm going to be watching her baby. So I'm going to go ahead and end the vlog here, but let you know that I am kind of getting bummed out because I was on this train of 4 and 5 stars, most of my reads being that, and then going through these. I did have 3 4 stars here, but then I DNF'd 2. So my brain's kind of like, we need a win, even though I realize that that is not bad odds for me. This is actually pretty typical of my reading, minus this year, but I'm going to go for a neutral prompt, and I can't remember which one it is, but whenever I do my next vlog, I will let you know. But I have Enchantress sitting right here. So this is one of the neutral prompts for the powers, and it's not going to gain me many points. I'm still going to be a Sith apprentice, even reading this, because I haven't gone for those big numbers yet. But this is one I have been looking forward to for quite some time. So this will start my next vlog. And if you guys want to follow me on any other platform, my links are always in the Linktree link down below. I hope you guys are having an excellent month, an excellent reading month. And if you're participating in the readathon, an excellent readathon. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.